All right, hey everybody, thanks for joining us. We are here with the sensational Dan Sehn, and we are talking Thunderzone. So, Dan, what's the Thunderzone?
Well, Thunderzone is a creator-owned imprint within Argo Comics. Argo Comics is a separate universe from Thunderzone. I've been doing Argo Comics for 15 years now, but Thunderzone, I had a lot of other people, seeing that I was reliable and putting out these books at a pretty good clip, wanting to get their independent book published in that way, ensuring them that it will be printed and put out there. It is a shared universe. I would say more along the lines of like early Image, where they each had their own properties and you're kind of allowed to kind of interact as you see fit. So if you approach another Thunderzone creator, hey, we should do a crossover. Then boom, you talk it out yourselves. We're all good with it, or if we do some massive crossover, again, everyone has input, everyone has their own properties, and they could take part in it or not take part in it. It's kind of like just a union of independent creators bringing their creations down to a big playground where they can all interact as they see fit.
Very nice. So, you're doing a Kickstarter right now, correct?
Yes, we have the Junkyard Joe and Subject Alpha Kickstarter, so you're getting 2 books. And also in the fact that we have a global network of creators in Thunderzone, so each campaign brings a little bit of flavor from around the world, which is a good thing, such as with Junkyard Joe being produced in the US and Subject Alpha being produced in Puerto Rico, which opens us up to our first Spanish edition as well. That's in one of the tiers. You'll end up with both English and Spanish edition, because many of the international books have been published in their native language and relettered, remastered for a US market, but we might consider some other foreign language editions depending on our feedback and demand for it.
That's something you don't see a lot, and so it's good to hear. It's good to hear that the people around the world, are going to be able to see those Thunderzone books. So, tell us about Junkyard Joe.
I think the important thing with independent comics is to try to go in a direction that hasn't been taken. I'm not sure if there has ever been a character who's kind of MacGyvering his weapons from junk stuff in the junkyard. All right, yeah, Junkyard Joe. It's basically a story of a single dad. He's raising his daughter, doing the best he can on that front. Basically, the story involves his daughter going to a comic convention, and there happens to be a villain on the loose, the cosplay killer. And he's, for whatever reason, not down with the cosplay. So he's kind of doing some horrific things to cosplayers. So basically, Junkyard Joe, he was always an inventor. You'll see in the book that he already owned the junkyard, but he never really had any purpose. Tried to make some weapons and stuff like that, but this kind of puts that all into action for him to take matters into his own hands to try to save his daughter. Basically, that's where the story goes. Issue 2 is in the works. We will continue that story. Basically going to be a 2-parter. We do have Trials of Vulcan as a backup story in the Junkyard Joe book as well. And Vulcan is a public domain character, I believe appeared in the 40s. Francisco Zamora has brought that character back. And as you know, with Nature Man being a Thunderzone character, we already have dipped our toes into the public domain. So now we're getting Vulcan, and again, Thunderzone is a shared universe. Chances are, when Vulcan does cross paths with the public domain characters in Nature Man, there will be some history there, and that'll make things fun, as I said, with me and Francisco collaborating on something to bring those characters together.
And that's Francisco Zamora, correct?
That is correct. In the capacity as a writer. Okay, he's lettered a good amount of Argo comics that I have done, and now Thunderzone books. And now we see him in his capacity as a writer, again, the first appearance of his Trials of Vulcan being within this issue of Junkyard Joe. So it's really looking great. I'm definitely looking forward to, putting out his own book within one of the next campaigns.
I know there is another book involved called Subject Alpha.
So you'll actually be getting 3 heroes in this campaign because, as I said, we got Junkyard Joe, we have Charles the Vulcan, but then we also have Subject Alpha. He's kind of like an enigma in the fact that he's lost his memory. He's a cosmic-powered hero. He's fighting a villain. Within this issue, it's kind of like the origins are unknown. It's a big stone creature. We're kind of like discovering the story as we go along. But sometimes spelling it all out, it's almost like a spoiler. And to some degree, I kind of like it, where when I'm reading a comic and I discover something about the character, that's kind of like fresh for me. We'll be hearing a bit more about his history through the book itself.
Well, that sounds good, Dan. Is there anything else you want people to know?
No, well, I guess I should mention we do have add-ons, so you can catch up on some of the other Thunderzone books, the first issues at least. We have Big House Blues, which was a successful campaign. Supercross was another book that we have put out. This is from Jerry Hines over in Singapore. That was very well received. Defenders of Europe was a very popular one for us as well. That's coming out of Italy from Fabrizio De Fabritis and Chiara Maganetti. This book was in a dual Kickstarter. Nature Man, as I mentioned, was our first release. Okay, I had written that myself. Public domain character Nature Boy, which I figured I would go with Nature Man, simply because I didn't want any confusions with, ooh, the Nature Boy. So we didn't want to keep hearing that all day, even though we still hear it with Nature Man. But at any rate, Nature Man, public domain character, Nature Boy coming back, and The Squad, Nigel Flood's book. Nigel's a creator from Ireland, and the book is very steeped into Irish folklore. So we, again, had these books, some of them from different parts of the world, bringing them all together into one cohesive universe, being the Thunderzone.
All right, so tell us when does the Kickstarter end?
All right, we have 11 days to go within the campaign. We're about 2/3 there. It's it's a little rough. We can definitely use anyone's backing or support, sharing, whatever anyone can do to help get some more eyeballs on this. Previous Thunderzone campaigns, all these books I showed you did get funded. We'd like to keep the ball rolling. We have more creations to bring to you. It's kind of like getting down to the wire. We really need people to get active and help us get this book funded so we can get them to you, because these books have been completed. You're not really taking a big risk on waiting forever, or if you're going to get the book completed, ready to go, just need the backing so we can print them and ship them out to you.
All right, well, thank you for joining us today, Dan. You'll see the link for the campaign in the show notes, and let's keep that thunder rolling.
Sounds good. That's the way to do it.